sometimes it is okay to pause.
That's good.
I think to readjust yourself and to pause, it's just that this is what you're going to have to tell yourself. I can stop here, but I can't stay here.
Good.
It's this time for rest, because I believe through every battle should be a resting place.
Absolutely.
Just take a moment to reflect. Sometimes you have to go readjust, reflect.
Yes.
Okay. So that I'm still not, because running on empty is the worst. Someone has to tell us it's okay to do that. Sometimes when you feel like you are on fumes, just take a moment to stop and just look at the vision again.
Right.
Look at your boxes that you've checked off or didn't check off.
Right.
Readjust it. If it needs to be readjusted, realign it. Realign yourself. Sometimes it's refuel yourself.
Right.
Sometimes it might be a time that I need just some time for prayer. I need to saturate myself.
Right.
Because I need the energy. I need the wisdom. I need to be empowered to continue.
Yeah. Hello, welcome. I am Sybil Bull, your host for Faith Based Optimum Living, where we share transformative content for emotional wellness, purpose-driven living, and a meaningful life. We're about to have an incredible episode, and I know you don't want to miss any of it. Today, we're going to continue as we're talking about vision. This whole season 3 is about vision. We're talking about different portions of vision, and it's been so good. Now, if this is your first time joining us, thank you so much for being here, and welcome to the Optimum Living Podcast. We're so excited to have you. If you're returning, welcome back. Welcome back. So happy. If you have not subscribed, please make sure you do that. And if you're listening, please leave us a review and let us know how we're doing. We want to make sure that we're improving and that we're sharing content that you really enjoy. We've been talking about vision in so many different ways, and today we're going to get into what it looks like to run with the vision. So for those of us you've been hearing the vision, you're writing the vision, maybe you're moving in your area of vision, maybe your vision is being edited and some other parts are coming to pass, or maybe you felt stagnant, or maybe there was fogginess in your sight, or maybe there was hurt and now you had to be healed. Whatever phase of life or season that you have been in, there are some people today who are going to listen and they're going to hear about what it looks like to run with the vision. And today I'm so excited and delighted to have one of my friends, such a sweetheart, such a wise woman, who's going to be here to share with us about running with the vision, Nikki McNeil. Can y'all give it up for her? Woo-hoo! She's in the house. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Yes.
I am so happy for you to be here. Let me tell y'all something. I was working on some things, y'all, and I said, oh my gosh, I need someone to do these episodes. And I prayed about it. And the Lord showed me you. And Nikki said, yes. This is what I said, exactly what I said. I said, okay, God, I see Nikki. I hear what you're saying. I didn't have this in my head, but I see Nikki. I said, now if she says yes, and I heard you.
Yes. So
I text you and you said yes. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for
being
asking
available and just being flexible and showing up.
Yes.
I really
of course.
appreciate it.
Always
I really
try to do that.
I really do.
Yeah, I count you as a friend.
Oh,
yeah.
You're a blessing.
We had
Listen.
We've had some moments.
We have, and we got some more to go.
And walking. Yeah.
We got some more to go. Yeah. So today we're going to actually speak to some high capacity leaders. We're going to talk to creatives, a visionary, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, you're a leader as well, who are great at starting, but you struggle to sustain, right? So this is what it looks like to explore the right accountability that fuels your consistency, longevity. That's what it looks like when you're running in both faith and strategy. I used to be a runner. You heard me say used to be a runner. And that means that when I was younger, I was an athlete and I was doing a lot of running. I love running. Haven't ran in a while, but still love the running concept. And when you think about running, it's all about that pace, right? It's all about certain things. But some of us may not be active. So we want to activate you to move in the vision. And today, Nikki's actually going to talk a little bit about what that looks like and why it's so important for you to get momentum. Because there are things that happen in life that we can't control, right? And there are things that happen that causes us to kind of fall back a little bit in life. And we're like, but but we're going to talk about accountability and sustaining the vision and running with it. So it's going to be so good for us to talk about. Let me ask you this question. What has your journey with vision looked like, especially when the excitement fades away and the work gets hard?
Wow. Well, you know what? I have to first tell a story because when you're talking, and of course, you know, I have to tell a story about us walking. So we live in the same area, neighborhood, right? And it's been times where you didn't know that, but I was like, okay, you know, because I had just started walking my journey, trying to be healthy. You know how that is, y'all. You know, I'm trying to eat well. I'm trying to lose some weight.
I know
I'm trying to look good. You know, my husband's nice looking. I'm trying to, right? And so I'm on this, you know, first of all, you have to get out the house. That's the first part.
Come on, get out the house.
Get out the house. Because you have to make a decision. I'm going to run today. Today, there's no excuses. I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if it's cold.
That part.
And so to get out the house. And then when you get out the house, then it's like, how far am I going to walk? I'm going to get to the, you know, and you have to push yourself, right? And so it got to the point where one day I was just ready to turn around, go back to my house after walking like literally down the street, and I ran into you, right?
Really?
And we start walking, right? And I walked the longest I have ever walked. Remember, because I said, I walked 4 miles. Are you crazy?
Wow,
but you know what?
So cool.
It's great, though, along the way to have someone, you know, and you were, I think, at the end of your walk, and you were still willing to go the extra mile because you could see that I had just started my walk. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I love that. I think along the way, when we meet people, you know, sometimes when we get kind of frustrated or whatever, that God, I feel like God sends us people along the way to encourage us to keep on going. So if that's anything else, you know, keep on going, right?
That's so good. You said when the excitement fades away, and it does fade away. Because sometimes we start off with zeal and excitement in anything that we're doing. And even like being leaders, right? And starting businesses, or you get married, you have a vision of the relationship and you're building family, and there's all of this dopamine rush and excitement and zeal, and then it fades away and you're just like, what happened?
Right.
I don't want to do this no more. I don't want anybody out there. I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
Got it. What's that? You know, and the thing about it is, what I was thinking about was vision. When you're sprinting versus a marathon, it's so important because when you sprint, that means you're pacing, you know, really, really fast. Marathon is like, gonna take a minute to get there.
Yes.
Okay, so what we're not about to do is act like this is a sprint. But sometimes in life, Nikki, we do, right? We start off running really, really fast. Have you encountered that in your life where you were like, thinking that God gave you a vision and it's a sprint, when he was saying it's really just a marathon?
I got a lot of stories.
Okay, give us one. Help us out.
You know, I think where it is an excitement at first because, you know, you can always, it's like the front part of it and the end part, but no one talks about that messy middle. Right. And so it's that's the part where the commitment has to kick in to what you saw, that you will stay till you see it. What you saw, you'll stay till you see
That's
it.
So good.
It is, you know, you have to remember whether you get married, you know, of course, you know, the plan the wedding and the dress and all, you know, all the front part. That's so nice. And, you know, to death do us part. Okay, that's the end part. But no one talks about the middle. You know, the messy middle. Okay. And that's when commitment kicks in until I'm going to see this thing through to the end.
So true.
We've seen businesses, ministry, marriage. I mean, we can talk about a lot of those things that, you know, we encounter. It's great to see the front part. We get excited about the front part, and we know it's going to be this great thing at the end. That's how we see it. But no one talks about, okay, and then they have to pull over on some things. I have to pull over on, or we have to pause, and we can't do it on that level on what we thought we were going to do it on. You know, and so sometimes it is disheartening. You have to encourage yourself. You know, that we got to commit. Here's the commitment to stay to this thing to the end.
That's so good. I'm thinking about when you said when you say commitment. Let's dissect that a little bit, because sometimes we make a commitment and forget what we made a commitment. What does that commitment look like?
What were the vows again?
You say, well, I like this part, but I don't like this part.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
And so I'm thinking when you were talking about it, and we're talking about running with the vision of life, what would you say is an area where like momentum drops? What would affect it? When you talk about that middle, I feel like that's when the momentum drops. You're like at the height of the wedding and all the things or whatever, starting the business, we started the business, we cut the ribbon, you did all this. What is the momentum that drops? Like what would stop the momentum in our lives?
Well, you know what? I have I have two grandsons actually. Yeah. And so we recently went to go see them, and we put both of them on the swings. So the youngest one is 10 months, and then the oldest one is 2.
Right.
He's a little over 2. And so the youngest one, of course, for him to swing, I have to push him.
Right.
So I'm pushing him. So the oldest one looked at me like, aren't you going to push me too? Right. So I came and I pushed him, but he's at the age now, I'm like, swing your legs.
Right.
Hold on, swing your legs. So he starts swinging his legs. Okay, now rock back and forth. He knows. Okay, he knows this motion. He's old enough to know. Okay, you're telling me to go and swing my legs. You know, I think what happens in momentum is that we always look for God to push us, and we don't think He's trying to teach us in maturity. Hey, you have to shift your weight. Hold on, shift your weight and swing your legs because you're going to build up momentum. We always want God to do it, right? And then sometimes in maturity, when we feel like we've lost momentum, it's because He's saying, I've told you what to do.
Right.
Get to it.
Right.
You know, and so it's not always for God to push us. A lot of times we look for God to push us. We want God to push us.
That's good. Momentum. So this is the portion of a place in life where it's not that the vision has changed, right? It's that the vision is still the same, but it's requiring a lot more than maybe I want to give. Or maybe I'm thinking about, I got to a place where, like you said, where are my helpers? Where's my support? It felt like everybody was with me, and now it feels like it's a solo act. Or that moment where you said you told your grandson, hey, go ahead and swing your legs, and he's like, I'm comparing what you're doing. You're pushing my brother. Why wouldn't you not push me? And I think that sometimes even in that place you were talking about, I lose momentum too because I'm looking at how God is pushing you and I'm no longer getting pushed. Yeah. And I think that can affect us as well. Man, all those different scenarios you were talking about.
Yeah. I think for some of us, I think God is requiring us to do more. You know, it's just not the push. Now He's saying, hold on, shift your weight, swing your legs. Wow. You know, because that says a lot for us because it's maturity. He means I'm expecting more from you. Wow. You know, because I'm asking more from you. You know, for some of us, the momentum has stopped because we've stopped because we're just looking for God to push us. And God is saying, no, I'm looking for you. It's, you know, it's like when we are young Christians. Right. When we were first saved, you know, we felt like God was doing all kinds of miracles and things for us. Yes, this is good. And then at some point we become teachers. You know, there are things that He is trying to train us how we do with the children. Yeah. You know, at some point we're teaching you yes and no. We're teaching you, we're training you up. So now you don't need a teacher. Right. I have another story. I have a lot of stories. Go ahead. It's just like my daughter. My daughter now, they're grown, right? Right. And so when she would come home, she would ask me to make pasta salad. Of course. Every time she comes home, I'll make pasta salad. Right. Because she's happily. I'm so happy. Yes. But at some point, you have your own house now, your own kitchen, your own utensils. I'm going to show you how to make pasta salad. No. You know what I'm doing? I'm empowering you. Yeah. Because now whenever you want pasta salad, you can make pasta salad. Right. You don't have to depend on me no longer. Right. Get it? So it's like now she's just like, it's not going to taste the same. It is going to taste the same. Which is what we say. I know. So I'm like, pay attention. So get in the kitchen with her. I'm showing her. And so I'm like, now boil the water. I'm all the things that make pasta salad. So she gets home finally and she makes the pasta salad. She says, are you sure you gave me everything I need? I said, yes. She said, it doesn't taste like it's something missing. I said, well, you know what now? You've made your own pasta salad. Right. This is what your pasta salad is going to taste like.
Until you perfect it.
That's right. And so I think it's the same thing in that, with the same thing with the swing, right? The same thing with the pasta salad. Right. At some point, God is trying to show us you have it in you to do it.
So true. That's so true. Yeah. Wow. I'm thinking when you were talking to momentum is that overwhelming. Even though we're talking about the pasta salad, I believe that sometimes we get overwhelmed that I got to make it on my own.
Yeah.
You're not going to make it?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I think it's the reality of this is what it takes to make pasta salad. Like, we went shopping.
That part!
We went shopping. She was like, wow, all of that? You have to do all that? And then the chopping and then the cooking. And I mean, the thing about it as cooks, we know this is like the easiest thing to make. I mean, the only thing you're cooking is noodles. The rest of it is chopping and putting it together.
Right.
I mean, are you serious?
But someone else gets overwhelmed with something that you're graced to do, and then I've only enjoyed what you've produced from the vision.
Yeah.
I've never actually known that all of that, what you say, the in-between. So the beginning and the end is what I've enjoyed. And that was my turn. That's so good. Yeah. That's really, really good.
So, I mean, but the thing about it is, what I did was it empowered her. So now you don't have to wait for me.
Right.
You know, you can do it on your own. And so when you desire it, now you're able to do it yourself. And I think the same thing with my grandson. You can swing. Guess what? As high as you want, as far as you want, because I'm teaching you the momentum, right? To hold on. Yeah. Shift your weight and swing your legs. And that's what I want to say to somebody. Hold on, shift your leg, and swing your legs. That's it.
One more time for the people in the back.
Shift your weight and swing your legs. You can go as high as you want to.
Wow.
And you just as free. Yeah. Because it's when God counts us to be mature, right? He deals with us differently, right? When he looks for maturity from us, he just does.
That's good. Yeah. That's good.
I really believe God gives us children so he can show us, this is how I feel. This is how I do. I really do. I think it's just that, when we're training them, yes and no's, like right now, my son, he called us, he's freaking out. He's like, because he's 2, or his oldest one is 2. I said, guess what? When you had the baby, it was cute. You're carrying him around. You feed them. Oh, whoa, they're so cute. Look at his first smile. Oh, his first coo, everything. Now you have to train them. Yes and no. Yeah. This is what a real parenting.
Here we go. Because he was at the beginning, right?
Yes. And now he's like, oh my God, he's throwing stuff. Oh my God, he's biting. Oh my God, and it's like, this is where the real parenting is. Yeah. It's the training.
And we lose momentum. We be like, can you eat ketamine and bring him back later?
Yeah, I know.
Like 5 years.
Or they're sleeping all night. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I was just thinking about you that's listening and those of you who are watching. Here's your question. What part of your vision feels hardest to keep going right now? I want you to review that and take an evaluation. What part of your vision feels hardest to keep going right now? Because this is the beautiful part about stories, right? I love, even though I don't know all the in-betweens of people's stories, a lot of times when I see people doing things that I know is hard, that I know that had required a lot of sacrifice, I just say thank you. I don't understand the ancestors and what they had to go through. My great-great-grandmother and all of them, right? And sometimes we're criticizing a thing because we don't understand how hard it was that they even made it to the place. How hard it is that you made it to a place. And sometimes it's just a matter of, wow, that was hard. That was challenging. That was tough. Yeah. And I believe that when people are acknowledging, and not that we're waiting for it, but sometimes when people acknowledge it, what they're saying is, wow, you were in the middle of that for so long. Because the middle is so long sometimes. It's not a day or two. It could be 20 years of a thing. And you literally did something hard, and that's so encouraging. What is your thought to someone who might be listening or watching today who's like, I'm really in a hard thing and I don't want to run and I'm ready to quit. Forget the maturity stuff you're talking about. I'm good. I'm good. What would you say to that person? And have you been that person ever?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Right. How long's the show? No, I think sometimes it is okay to pause.
That's good.
I think to readjust yourself and to pause. It's just that this is what you're going to have to tell yourself. I can stop here, but I can't stay here. So it's this thing where, it's this time for rest, because I believe through every battle should be a resting place.
Absolutely.
Just take a moment to reflect. Sometimes you have to go readjust, reflect. Okay, so that I'm still not, because running on empty is the worst. Oh my gosh. Everybody gets on your nerve. You hate everybody.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sorry, you can't say that. You're a Christian. I'm sorry, you can't say that. But it's just truth. And I think when you get to that point, okay, hold on. I'm empty.
Right.
And I have to refuel myself.
Right.
Let me readjust. Let me reflect.
Right.
All the reads. Let me just get together. And it's okay to do that. I think no one tells us that is, someone has to tell us it's okay to do that. Sometimes when you feel like you are on fumes, just take a moment to stop and just look at the vision again.
Right.
Look at your boxes that you've checked off or didn't check off.
Right.
Readjust it. If it needs to be readjusted, realign it. Realign yourself. Sometimes it's refuel yourself.
Right.
Sometimes it might be a time that I need just some time for prayer. I need to saturate myself.
Right.
Because I need the energy. I need the wisdom. I need to be empowered to continue.
Yeah, that's so true.
And so it's okay to stop. It's like when we're on a trip. I got a lot of stories. When you're on the trip, at some point you run out of gas. You will run out of gas. You got to pull over. Y'all need some chips. Y'all need some juices. I got to use the bathroom.
Right.
So sometimes it's okay. I mean, it's almost part of the journey to pull over.
Yeah.
It's part of the journey to pull over.
That's good. I hope that someone's receiving that encouragement, that you may be feeling the way you're feeling. And I can say this too. I was telling someone my story and I said, in ministry and just in life, I've quit things 1,000 times in my mind, in my emotions, in my attitude. And that's the pause. It was an indication that I needed a pause, right? My momentum was going down. Things were happening. I just needed a pause. And everything you just said is so true. Sometimes we're running with the vision and it gets so heavy and we get so emotional, things are happening, but we don't pause. And so that's so good. I hope that you're hearing exactly what your answer could be, that you just need to pause and not necessarily quit. It's amazing what a good night's sleep would do, right? Listen, you lay down, like you've been up and up and up, and then you lay down and get 8 hours. You're like, this is what it feels like to be a little refreshed.
And you see things differently when your eyes are refreshed.
Yes.
When your eyes get tired, you guys know what it's like to be tired. And, when you have refreshed yourself, you feel a little differently. You have a different, it's almost like you're sober now, that I've come back and I see it. Oh, I didn't see that.
Right.
Because I've been looking at the same thing. I'm staring at the same thing.
Right.
I'm saying the same thing. And so taking a step back sometimes is a good thing.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good.
I feel like it's even part of what we're doing. Your journey.
Yeah.
The journey.
It's a part of the journey, like you said. Even when you're on a natural road trip, you'll have to stop. So you'll have to pause to do what you need to do.
Yes.
That's so wonderful.
Absolutely.
I love it. Let's talk about how the accountability of growth looks like. So maybe giving some tools or some things for people to understand. Like, so we redefine accountability, right? So people will understand that accountability is not punishment when someone says, you said you was going to do, did you write that book?
Right.
Hello.
Right.
You said you was going to start that, academy or whatever. And so let's talk about what it looks like for accountability, which is a part of our growth, even when we're talking about running in the vision. The person who's next to me, if I'm running in a marathon, who says, hey, you've got this. Leave me alone. I'm tired.
Right. Yeah.
The accountability is just so important in life. And so how do you define healthy accountability? How would you define healthy? Because I think that you can have accountability where people irk your nerve and their accountability is not healthy. So how would you define healthy accountability in your work or life?
I think that's the key word, is healthy.
Yeah.
It's just who you share your dreams and your visions with, because you have somebody who'll come and say, oh, I thought you said you was going to do this and do that in year 1, year 2. You get those kind of people.
Yes.
They become the paninas, they vex you.
Yes.
And so I think it's healthy accountability. That's the key word to me, to have someone who really wants to see me make it, and so their words are more encouraging and then discouraging.
That's good.
You know,
That's
because
very good.
you can have people who, oh, I thought you was going to do this. I thought you was going to do that. I thought you said you was going to start a business. I thought you was going to write a book. Where's your book? So that's how you know that they're unhealthy people that you're sharing your vision with. The Bible says, don't throw your pearls towards swine. That's what it says. That's what the Bible says, And so we have to just check, seriously, we have to just check our circle sometimes. And we'll be surprised sometimes on the people that they might be with you, but they're not for you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so because they can't understand when the vision is given to you, they may not be able to see it the way you see it.
That's so good.
Yeah,
that's so good. As you were talking, y'all, if you hear that, we didn't know that was going to happen. They out here cutting the grass, okay? But I ain't gonna stop. Okay. So this is the thing. When you were talking, I was thinking about, like, you were talking about healthy accountability and I don't believe someone even knew what that looked like, right? That there are people who can badger you, but they're not actually giving any construction. They're not really praying. They're not really encouraging or inspiring or motivating. They can also lead to shame, right? Because now you feel guilty and shameful and all of that. And I believe the healthy accountability is a lot different. Hey, sis, just checking in.
Right.
It's been like 4 months.
Right.
I just wanted to see how you're doing. Yeah. How's everything going? And you're like, well, I didn't do what I was going to say. And then that accountability is that person's like, well, let's, what do you think was going on? How you been? What do you need? How can I support you? How can I show up for you? These are sincere, healthy accountabilities rather than I asked you to be my accountability partner. You're like, you walk today? Did you get it done today? You say you're going to write 300 words every day. Did you do it? Did you read the book? Did you That's not really accountability. And I love that you broke that down so someone can understand that.
Right.
Because now people shy away from accountability because they're like, the last time I did A, B, and C, they didn't define what healthy was. So now they shy away from a place where accountability is important. I think I know for sure that's a part of growing.
Right.
And when I think about accountability, I also think a little bit about counselors, like people who are in my life who helps to get me going and to keep me moving in a wise place. Maybe I've told you something in my accountability and you say to me, not sure if you were able to accomplish that, not negatively, but you also told me you were putting a lot of time or energy into something. And have you considered? Accountability is also me looking into your life enough to make sure that you are not sabotaging or messing in another area that's going to pull you in different directions. And now you're like, I didn't even look at that. You know what? Maybe I'll do that 6 months from now. Yeah, that's a part of the accountability too. Yeah. And I think that's important.
Yeah, I think it's important to have someone who will hold you accountable. It's just how they're holding you. Yeah. That's my point.
Yeah.
My point
is
just that, sometimes because someone who is not the person will make you feel worse than better. No, that's so true. And so, like I was sharing that story about with you, you didn't know it because we were just still talking and you were just like, we were like, blah, 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 blah. Before I knew I walked 4 miles and I came home to my husband, I said, oh my God, I walked 4 miles. He's like, really? I'm like, but we talked the whole time. Yeah, it didn't seem like it was 4 miles. And I think that's the kind of person or connection that you want, someone that doesn't seem like it's work or it doesn't seem like you're, the accountability is like a whip, it's like you feel more encouraged and discouraged.
Yeah, that's so good. That's very good. And you know what, even when you were talking about that, I was thinking to myself that it was duality happening in accountability too, right? Because sometimes we don't think about accountability that way, that even the person that you're asking to be accountable, like, can you be my accountability partner, that person also receives something. Because now I walk 4 more miles too. So I walk 7 miles that day. Yeah. Who's walking 7 miles, right? So I walked 7 miles that day, but when I left, it wasn't about the miles. It was so much more that I had received, right? Oh, gosh, and so it's so lovely. And I'm thinking, like, months later, when certain things that happened in your life, and you're like, I checked in and you said, I haven't walked in a while, and I said, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. You're in a different season. Maybe you just needed to do what you need to do. And you're like, okay, Mom, we'll get back out there. And I said, it's okay. When you're ready, you'll get back out there. Yeah. That's what healthy accountability looks like. Yeah. Not me being like, well, I mean, what you mean? You got to keep up. If you don't keep up, that's... I
actually don't remember what you said. Because you said...
wow.
I do remember. Okay. It meant a lot. I was out with my husband. We hadn't walked in a while. And and it started raining, and we were out walking in the rain. That's how I was with my husband because,
It's good. A good accountability partner.
Let's go. No excuses.
Yeah.
So, but I was sharing that, and you said, you would show up for somebody else in the rain. Why wouldn't you show up for yourself in the rain?
Oh,
and
wow.
I remember I was like, it's just those little things that in that moment, you caught me in the transitional moment, and your words were more seeds to help that cultivate in a good space than tear down, and so that's why it's so important for me. I think it's important that, sometimes we have to, here's part of that readjustment, refuel, reflect, who's around you, who's in your circle. Do you feel more encouraged or discouraged?
That's so good.
And it's okay to have to change your circle because this is a long run. This is a longevity thing. This is a thing that it's like when you talk about the running, the people want to stand on the side with the signs. Let's go. Gosh, you got 2 more miles. You got 4 more miles.
And
people who stand
them.
with water. Yes. Be that for me.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I love that. When you were talking, I was thinking, I wrote down that there's emotional versus structural accountability. So emotional accountability is that I'm connected with you in a way that, like you were saying, like I started crying. Yeah. Structural is more about 5 miles every day. Right. Did you say, did you do all the stuff we said earlier? Which is structural. And again, that's not a negative or unhealthy. I believe that there are moments we need both, right? Sure. You can't necessarily be wanting to get in shape and I'm the fitness trainer and I be emotional with you.
What are we gonna do?
You don't feel good? I know, girl. We can't both be crying.
You don't want to do it, don't do it. It's okay.
It's not your day. It's all right. We start tomorrow, right? So you have to have the structural accountability because someone has to help with certain areas of your life and certain seasons demand that. So we don't want you to be dismissing your structural accountability. Right. The key words that she was sharing was healthy. That making sure that even if it's structural, it's healthy, not leading to any shame or any guilt or condemnation, but someone needs to provoke you enough to remind you that you said you were going to do this, but that you were also important in the plan that you set for yourself. And that's what I believe that sometimes we miss when it comes to the structural part. It can make you feel annoyed at first, right? That part, right? It make you feel annoyed. But I know, like, my son is a fitness trainer, right? So he's like, no joke, yesterday, right? He says, Mom, and I said, what's up? I'm in here trying to get the whole studio together, right? And he's like, Mom, when we gonna start working out? We've been talking about this, and I said, I'm coming. I'm almost there, And he's talking to me, and I'm being calm, and I was like, I feel the tug, the structural, right? But he was adding a little bit of emotional side to it. But I also know that once we get in there, he can't be emotional with me. He's gonna add it right now, but once I get in there, he's gonna be like, okay, Mom, let's go. Let's do this. It hurts. Yeah, that's a part of it. That means you're doing the thing. That's the structure, and I'm going to need that. And so I want to make sure that those of you who are running understand that everyone doesn't show up in your life as an accountability partner, cheering you as a cheerleader. Sometimes you need a person who says, hey, enough is enough. Wipe your tears. Let's go. Like you said to your grandson, hey, you got feet. Get to swinging. So you can do this.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Shift your weight. Your legs.
So I think it's good. It's very good. So let's talk about what it looks like building vision that lasts. Because there's people that are building. You're building. You're here. You're running, and maybe you did lose momentum. So as we're closing out, we want to do this thing. We want to talk about does it look like if you adjust without losing momentum when life throws a curveball? How do you adjust? Help somebody understand, like, how do you adjust? How have you adjusted in life without losing momentum when life throws a curveball?
Oh, how to adjust without losing momentum? Well,
because it's the key word is adjust.
Let me say this, like my last 2.5 years has been, felt like I was in this race. I was running because the Bible says you ran well. Who did hinder you? Who did it? Right. And so, I got hit with some things that I was not expecting. So I've had some important people in my life die on me.
Right.
And I felt like my whole life kind of stopped and halted. And as much as I told my husband, I'm trying to get up and I can't. And I understand that space. I understand being hit with something so horrible that it is hard for me to get up. I can't get up. And as much as I want to, you know, this has to be something that God has to do for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and so, you know, I think little by little, that's what I would say. It was little by little.
That's good.
And then the thing about it is it's just like the momentum. Momentum starts with little by little.
Absolutely.
And it grows into big.
Yeah.
It doesn't start off big.
That's
it
good.
grows into big.
That's a good reminder.
And so it is that, you know, as I reflect back in my last 2.5 years and get into a space now, it's little by little. And so it becomes this, you know, full swing.
Yeah. I love that. I appreciate you sharing that. And I love that. To me, I hope y'all are hearing that and getting it, that sometimes momentum, I think in our being, we think that is fast, right? And that's why it's not about the sprint. It's about the marathon. It's about finding your rhythm and finding a pace. And sometimes what I tell myself is, okay, Sib, you've been going 75, but right now in my momentum is 30. It's not that I'm not moving. It's that I realize the adjustment is 30. Right? Go 45 miles slower so that you won't crash and burn, so you can grieve, so you can deal with what's really happening on the inside and not pretend that nothing is happening and keep going until no one sees you. Now you can't even catch momentum after that because you are so far gone. And momentum can look, like you said, I love that, little by little. And for me, the speed could be slower. So that means instead of 3 things in a week, I'm just going to accomplish this one. I'm not going to do 5 events. If I was doing all of this and showing up this way, big and bright and wonderful, well, guess what you're going to get from me? 1. Instead of 5. And I'm very happy to give the 1. And that's how it looks until I can get back to that fullness of what the momentum would require.
That's exactly what it was. You know, it's just starting small again. And guess what? Sometimes it's okay to start over, you know, or pick up from where you were. I think a lot of times we beat ourselves up where, you know, we have to slow down. And I think, you know, I love what you said, is either slow down or crash. Both of them are going to slow you down. You know, so
it comes with more consequences.
One comes with much more consequences. And so, you know, and I wasn't my, you know, when you're not your full self, you know, and so I felt like I wasn't being genuine. You ever been, you know, your space where you're like, I am smiling, but you really see me, I am not really, you know, my eyes are not smiling. My lips might be smiling, but my eyes are not smiling. My heart's not smiling. And so, and I knew I didn't want to, in the business I am in, I mean, we're in ministry, I didn't want to do damage, or I felt like not to put on someone else. So you kind of step back for a minute, you know, and I'm grateful for the team I have around me that allowed me to do that. They seen that, okay, you need to readjust yourself. That's why I can speak to those things. I noticed like to have to take a moment. So let me readjust, refuel, reflect, you know, and sometimes you have to rebrand. I mean, you come back and you come out this different, you know, this kind of different outlook. I have a different outlook. And so, you know, it's that for me.
That's good. That's really good. I was thinking perspective. I'm thinking you got to edit the vision. If you're running, sometimes you're like, you know what, that part don't even matter. That wasn't even God. There's so many things in there. And then I love what you just said. That's who I was before. This area of my life needed adjustment. And now this is where I am. And I'm going to move as this person in this moment. And that's so okay. I'm okay. I give myself permission to do that. And everyone else can catch up. That's my part.
What you say, everybody?
That's my part. Everybody, go ahead and catch up. Okay.
You know, I think it births such a compassionate, and you know what it now becomes. Now I can see when someone else is burnt out. I see you, sis.
Go sit down. Let me give you a hug. Take a vacation.
It's okay. I think sometimes it's like we have to hear it's okay. you know, because I think you got people around you have this big expectation from you, and no one sees me. Everybody wants something from me, but no one sees it. I'm not okay, you know. And so I feel like I have these eyes now where I can see, okay,
that's so true.
You obviously need a minute, you know. And so we just had one of the young ladies at our church. She does a lot at her church, and I walked up to her and she was ready to tell me everything that's going on in the church, and I said, are you okay? And she just like lost it, right?
Because you saw her.
I saw you, right? And so it's like, it's okay. This is what we're going to delegate, and so we're going to take this from you and we're going to delegate it. Go have a minute. You know, and when I mean a minute, I don't mean 60 seconds. Don't let people just say, okay, now it's time for you. Okay, you've had a minute. Right. No, okay. Yeah. If it's a minute, it's a month. Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you're lucky it's not a year.
For sure. No, that's good. That's good. I believe that a lot of times because of the society that we live in and the cultural things, and sometimes maybe in in the household that we grew up in, maybe like some people idolize their moms or whatever, or their grandparents or whoever. They really worked hard. They did this. They were always going. They never slowed down. So sometimes we try to pick up that whole belief system and, you know, go, go, go. Nothing slowed them down. But then we realized later that although nothing slowed them down, quote unquote, internally, there was a lot of things that happened to them, high blood pressure, you know, all the other things, you know, people haven't, and I know this is sensitive for some people, but, you know, now you have other things growing in your body, and, you know, all of these things that you're like, where did this come from? Because we didn't take that moment, like you said, to take care of ourselves, to say that I'm not trying to be accepted by everyone, to keep performing or over performing or trying to be an overachiever. Let me just calm myself down and deal with where I am and what's going on. I'm still running my race. Right. It's a marathon, and a marathon is lots and lots and lots and lots of miles, and a sprint is over by the go. End. You can see the end. A marathon, you can't see the end. And that's the part about the race and running with the vision. You don't always see the end in life, like you said about it earlier. There is that middle. So in our closing remarks, what's something you would say to those who are listening or watching, just in running the vision, the thing about momentum and what they can, you know, just take away from themselves to keep moving forward?
I would say what I sense is just that sometimes rest is okay. You know, someone needs to tell you it's okay to rest and take care of yourself. You know, it's not saying that it's not going to happen. Right. You know, the quality of what you want to happen, you want to be the best version of yourself when it does happen. So rest is part of that. And any journey is a time to pull over and refuel.
That's good. That's good. Y'all heard that? It's okay to refuel. Because, honey, a car running on empty is dangerous all in itself. And eventually you ended up in a destination on the side of the road where you didn't want to be. And that's just a lot more time wasted. Let me not get started, okay? It's going to cost you something that you don't want to pay. It's going to be time gone. And now you have to wait on somebody to come and help you. Listen. Because you did not slow down and you didn't pause. So I don't want you to keep paying that price, right? I don't want you to keep circling around and doing the same thing because you feel like you need to press forward. Keep running, keep doing what you need to do, but when you need to pause. The thing is that it doesn't mean that I'm not running when I'm pausing. Because I can pause mentally, emotionally, in all different ways. And just remind yourself of that. Your pause looks differently. And that's what you want to identify when you're running this race. Wow. Our time went so fast.
That was fast. Oh my gosh.
It's been so good. All right. So I'm going to give you some rapid reflections. Yes. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Didn't y'all just love her? She's so good. All right. Here's one. How do you define optimum living in one sentence? How do you define optimum living in one sentence for you?
I think living my best life.
Okay.
Like the best version of myself.
Okay, I love that.
I think as I'm getting older, you know, even the way I dress, the way I carry myself, I'm being very comfortable and I feel free.
I love that.
You know, just free to be myself.
Come on, optimum living. She said, living my best life, being my best self. I love that.
Absolutely.
And one last thing, who or what keeps you accountable in this season? Who or what keeps you accountable in this season?
Who or what keeps me accountable?
Yeah.
Well, I know for me is that I love God, and I want Him to be proud of me. I want to be I want to be a great daughter for Him, you know. And I think here on earth for me, my children, you know, your kids are, especially my daughters, you know, they're watching the different. As I lost my mom, they're watching, and they know how, you know, I was with my mom, our relationship, and you know, I think I've always feel. To be the example, and however, and sometimes they need to see you get up. Sometimes they need to see that you can fall and get up. They need to see that. Sometimes we want to be so perfect.
Right.
That wasn't one sentence, was it? I'm sorry.
Who's judging?
But sometimes even
this one's not about a sentence.
Okay.
Yeah, this one you're good to go.
Yeah. So I mean, sometimes it's just that they need to see all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah. You know, it's just that. So as they're going through their lives, they can say, okay, I've seen an example of, I've seen where you were, and I've seen how you were restored from that place. So sometimes it's good to show them even that, and that's for someone who has children, especially those who know, you know, school age children, to say everything doesn't have to be hidden from sometimes the kids. Sometimes you need to let them know, this is where I'm at.
That's good.
I'm tired.
Somebody
else help. Somebody else wash these clothes. Listen, I'm going to get a massage, get some self-care. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. Let's celebrate Nikki being here with us. Woo-hoo. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I loved having you. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I was like, we could just do this all day. But let's just talk about our closing reflection, y'all. Let's talk about what it looks like. Vision needs motion, right? But it also needs structure. Accountability isn't about control. It's about staying aligned with the call on your life, but not getting loud about it, right? We just want to stay aligned with that. If this conversation has been really good to you, if you heard something, please share that out with us. Let us know how you're feeling, what you heard. And if there's something, if you want to hear more, you want me to bring back Nikki, we could talk more about some things. Thank you all for tuning in to Optimum Living. I'm Sybil Bull, helping you grow, live fully, and unlock the life you were created to live. Listen, until next time, stay grounded, stay grateful, and keep reaching for the life that God has shown you. And remember this, you are designed to live an optimum life. I'll see y'all next time.